What round they rise to find that?
You're playing touch butt with that dork in the park, the ponytail. And I'm the one who ain't got no training partner. I don't think so. Seem to have it all figured out when they're playing midget.
Dang it! 60 G's, baby!
Dust of Shakedown begins right now.
What's going on, people? How we doing? It's just me and Jordan today. How you doing, Jordan?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Fucking a bit different. Just two normal guys about to start shooting the shit. No Jord, no Will, no Yao, no Ola. You know what I mean? The main man.
No, people may have noticed that we are missing one prominent figure on this segment of the show. Ola, he won't be here today. He's got some family matters to attend to today. So it's just going to be you and me. Maybe Yao's going to rock up. I don't think any of the other lads are coming. But how's your week been, man?
That's been good, mate. Yeah, I mean, just working away. Went down south, visited the family over the weekend. The weather started to actually fucking spruce up in Scotland. It was, well, when I was down in England at the weekend, it was 26 degrees, mate. And all we like to do in England, I don't know if you know this, but a known fact in England is when it gets hot, like you moan all winter about it just raining and it being shit and it being boring. Then it gets to the summertime, and all we do is sit inside and moan about it being too hot. That is like that is like the epitome of being British. Like if you are British, all you do is sit in the house and moan about how fucking hot it is during the summer. But you beg for it. You absolutely beg for it all winter. What about yourself, man?
I think that carries over to both Australia and Canada, as far as I'm aware. Like, don't get me wrong, we're still early on in Canada, so it's just starting to get warm now. So, there's no complaining yet, but we haven't had any real hot ones. At highest, we had 24, which has just been like, it's bliss.
Does it get cold in Canada? Like in Canada, sorry. And,
it gets a little cold in Canada.
Goddamn. I mean, yeah, just a little cold in Canada. I mean, Australia, mate. Like,
so it's all relative, right? It gets cold by cold, like maybe 10 degrees, and then we're all bitching about how cold it is.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, down south they get snow and all the rest. You go skiing and that. Australia's fucking massive, right? But I'm from up north, so it doesn't really get cold there.
Mate, it hits 10 degrees in Scotland, and you've got people walking down the streets with no tops on in the shorts, drinking a can of Tennent's. You know what I mean? Screaming taps off.
Dude, it was 5 degrees here, probably a month or so ago now, and I was like, oh, it's like fucking summer already. Like, yeah, t-shirt, thongs, got no jocks on, living it up.
Yeah, that's the fucking life, bro. That's the life.
Yeah. So anyway, the news this week, I don't know, there's been a fair bit happening, but nothing like earth-shattering, nothing rocking the world, but there's been some good stuff going on. I guess we'd start with the press conference yesterday from Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. They had a press conference yesterday. It's their first one. I'm assuming they're going to do a series coming up for. There we go. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson press conference. It was all right. Like it's their first one. The bout's not happening until the 20th of July, and it's going to be on Netflix. No pay-per-view either. So if you've already got Netflix, I assume you're good to go, which is awesome. It'll be Netflix's first time doing something like this. I don't think they've done a live thing ever, right? Not that I'm aware of.
No, I think that's mad as well. I never experienced it of anything being on Netflix, and I was like, how are they going to do this? Are they going to run it as a pay-per-view? Are they just going to run it as normal? Like, what's that going to look like?
Yeah, so apparently there's no pay-per-view. Apparently you're good to go if you've already got Netflix, which most of us do, or most of us at least have somebody's login to a Netflix account anyway.
Oh, well, they're cracking down on that, though. They're cracking down on that. There's not too many people that can get away with that these days. Like,
that's it.
Pops up all the time now, but what are they going to do? Are they going to create like a new subsection called like live or sports, or like is it just going to be there at the top of the feed? Like, what's it going to be like?
I guess that's a great question. I'd love to see how. I mean, there's going to be no issue with handling the bandwidth because they already, service on demand to the planet, millions. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they did announce some clearer picture on what the actual bout is going to be. And it will be a professionally sanctioned bout, except it's going to be 8 rounds at 2 minutes a round. And they will be wearing 14-ounce gloves, not 8-ounce gloves. So I don't know, man. Tyson's going to be 58 at the time of this fight. So it's pretty wild. I don't know how much this is going to I don't know how competitive this is going to be honest.
Yeah. Or have you seen any of his training footage? Like he's got like 1 second clips that he just putting out of going absolutely ham on the pads. And I'm just like, is this his game plan? He's going to go all out for like the first round and it's all or nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, or, like those little bursts and then just survive, and then just burst. The 14-ounce gloves really do favor Jake Paul.
Yeah.
Taking those heavy shots, there's going to be a little bit more padding. I do the 2-minute rounds actually favor Mike Tyson though.
100%.
I mean, 27 versus 58. And it's unfortunately. I mean, I don't know who you think's going to win, but here we go.
Oh, we're joined by the man,
and we're welcomed by Kick Him in the Head.
Kick him in the head. Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Good, mate.
Not
How you doing?
Not too bad.
Good. Leroy, so I couldn't actually load the background, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I was about to say the background looks a little bit different.
At least this time, I'm not disappearing into the back.
Yeah.
100%, man.
Yeah. How you been, mate?
Do you know what? Go on.
Been good, thank you. It's been a long week, I'll be honest, but all good.
Good. Oh, true. So we were just talking about the. Did you happen to watch the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul press conference yesterday?
No, but I have seen the comments. I have seen, for example, Tyson Fury coming out and supporting and saying, "Look, I'm a fan, and this fight that I see coming, yes." I think I'm with Tyson on this one, but I didn't actually watch the press conference. No,
you didn't miss much. So I was kind of just edging towards the fact that the biggest thing that I took away from that whole press conference was Mike Tyson looked very calm and relaxed. He didn't look like he was working his way towards a fight. I mean, it still is. I mean, we're still got to get to July 20th, right? But I didn't see that. I didn't see that killer. When you're waiting for Mike Tyson to say something, like a reporter asking a question, you're always sitting a little bit on edge, going, "How's he going to react to this?" I didn't get any of that from this press conference. He was just pretty chill, pretty easy, going straight down the pipe.
That's very interesting. Because normally, like you said, Mike Tyson comes with the energy. He comes with the listen. He's going to tell you a crazy story or tell you how he's going to kick your ass. So it's quite interesting to hear that he's calm and collected. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, it's been since 2020 was when he last fought. He fought Roy Jones Jr. Is that it? It's been 4 years.
Yeah, and that was like an expedition match as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. And he looked his age then too. Like, he still looked amazing, but you could see the age was there. So I can't see how a further 4 years down the road is going to benefit him.
But that's what I keep having at the back of my mind. I'm like, it's still Mike motherfucking Tyson. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, he's gonna go in there. He's about to fight some like young dude at 58 years old. But it's still Mike Tyson at the end of the day. Like, even when you said, you see him hitting them pads, it's quick bursts, it's mad like cardio out, and then like 1 second clips. But if he catches him with one of those digs, man, even at 58 years old, as they say, the power is the last thing to go. Is it the last thing to go at 58 years old, or is it already fucking gone? But we're gonna find out. We're definitely gonna find out. And I'm interested in seeing what the difference is going to be in these gloves at 14 ounces.
Yeah.
What difference is that going to make over the course of this fight?
Yeah, and 8 2-minute rounds, 14-ounce gloves. It's
at 58. That's a lot.
Yeah, exactly. At least you'll have plenty to hide behind as well, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Right. Although,
go on.
Although that does beg the question that Jordan just asked: what then happens to the power? How does the power transfer through?
Yeah, and breaking the gloves of Paul as well. 14 ounce against 40. I mean, you've got more to hide behind.
Yeah,
that's why we love MMA so much.
Not much to hide behind.
When you get
your hands together, the gloves on, mate. See how that goes. But speaking of MMA, boxing to MMA, now MMA to boxing, we've got Darren Till's next opponent. Darren Till will be making his professional debut on this card with Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. I think it'll be the co-main event. Really? He hasn't fought. What's that?
Oh, really? No, I don't think it's the co-main. I don't think it's the co-main.
It's not the co-main.
No.
Just on the undercard.
Something else. Yeah.
All right. So Darren Till's boxing debut added to Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson on this Netflix card. He's going to face the former WBC champion. What's his name? I've already forgotten his name. Oh, that's in my notes here. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. There we go. You might know that name as well because he was the bloke who fought Anderson Silva in his pro boxing debut. So that's I think this is a pretty tailored matchup for Till here. It's another.
To be honest, like we can say tailored. Is it one of those ones that you're going to go in there and you're definitely going to win it? Probably fucking not. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's actually a pretty decent matchup for him to be going in there against. Like Chavez is what now? 38 years old, something like that. Hasn't fought in quite a while. He's inactive himself, but it's a good step into boxing for the I think Darren Till's doing it right. You know what I mean? He's not going in there and trying to go for glory like everybody else that's going in from MMA into boxing is. And I think he's actually wanting to have an honest dig at it. And he's going against somebody that, I mean, similar age, has reputable career behind him. As you said, previous middleweight champion, WBC. Like, there's every chance he gets beat in this fight too. So I think he's doing this right and he's setting himself up. It's a good fight to start with in a professional boxing match. You're
absolutely right. I mean, tailored is in more like this is the way you craft your way into boxing.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
It's a great point. A former WBC champion who defended the belt 3 times, right? Granted, he won the belt all the way back in 2012 and 12 years ago. Yeah. But, you know, once a champion, always a champion. You say the same thing for the main event, but at least he's not 58, right?
Yeah.
So before this fight just got announced, there was a heap of speculation that he was actually going to be fighting Mike Perry in bare knuckle boxing.
Yeah.
And he basically shut that down saying, look, eventually we will. But I kind of feel like people go to bare knuckle boxing where their careers are coming to an end, and I'm just getting started. You know, he said it with more like, you know, I'm not trying to offend anybody who does bare knuckle boxing but you know, Mike Perry's just a bit of a brute. You know, the usual Darren Till, you know, slagging the shit out of him.
What did he call him again?
I can't remember.
Have you got the quote there? No, I can't remember what he called him either. But it was somebody else put it up as well. It wasn't directly about him. So he was talking about Alvarez, and then he was also who was it he fought last?
Who? Mike Perry fought last?
Mike Perry, yeah. Mike Perry. Who did he fight last?
Well, so he was talking about Michael Venom Page being decent. He was talking about
who was it he just fought last week before, whenever it was?
I don't know. I don't really keep up with bare knuckle boxing.
Fuck me. It was another MMA fighter, wasn't it, that's gone into it? Fuck me. How's that name evaded me?
Yeah.
That's gonna do my boxing. But anyway, he was talking about them and he said they are fucking stupid or whatever it was that he said about them. You need to Google that quote because that's gonna do my nothing.
Yeah, so I did have the quotes up before the show, and then I just saw the new news article that his fight was announced. I'm like, oh, all right, I'll flip that in. He's back. Mic check 1, 2.
I don't know. I'm having random connection.
Are we in a staring competition right now?
I think so, but I'm also searching it. Because it's going to do me head in if I don't figure out who it was that he last fought. Thiago Alves. God damn.
Oh, there you go. That's right.
Yeah, Thiago Alves. That was it. And then I'm going to go and find what Darren said about him.
Yeah, you read that quote because that was bloody good value, man. I think this is a great matchup for Darren Till. I don't know what's going on with Yao. He's having struggles there.
What do you think, Yao? Is Yao still there? Is he dipped out again?
I think he might be frozen.
Oh yeah, he's definitely frozen.
Anywho.
Yeah. Anyway, he was saying about Mike Perry just being like stupid, basically just calling him stupid. You know what I mean? Saying he's at the end of his career. He's a bit brain dead, and yeah, it's the perfect sport for him, and it's going to bust up his face. And it was just like.
And all he does is bite down the mouthpiece and walk forward, more or less.
Yeah. Right. Well, why not?
Till did mention his aspirations to return to the UFC eventually.
Yeah.
I don't know how realistic that is.
Neither do I, to be honest with you, in the current situation. Of
Dana White said the door was always open for him, and he said it recently as well.
I'm sure there was another interview with Till recently where he was kind of saying the real reason why he left the UFC, and it was kind of like it was on bad terms. I never actually got around to listening to it all. Like I started listening to a bit of it, and then I got taken away with something. But I'm pretty sure like it wasn't on great terms that he kind of left the UFC there. So I did think, or is that kind of shut the door then? And him actually returning was him saying him just returning just for the headlines or just for the media or whatever it was. But it'd be interesting to see him do this boxing thing. And then if he's going to go back to MMA, will it be with the UFC? Will he get brought back in with open arms, so to speak?
Yeah, and hopefully, if that does happen, hopefully he doesn't go down that Kevin Lee stanky leg road.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I think he will end up in bare knuckle boxing one day though, and I don't think Mike Perry's going to fight him anywhere but bare knuckle boxing. I think that's the only place that he's going to say like.
It's the only way to kind of level the playing field because I think Till beats him everywhere else.
I think it's probably 100%. I think it's giving Perry more fuel for the fire of calling him a pussy and not wanting to fight him and all the rest of it now as well, though, by avoiding the bare knuckle fight by saying, "Well, you get your face bust up." You know what I mean? Nah, mate. Not getting. I'm not even doing it. I know. Hey.
I hope so. I hope I don't
see
her again. I don't know what's going on with my connection tonight.
You sound pretty clear now.
It's because you've not got that funky background going on, mate. That's what the crack is like.
Yeah, that was the magic.
That was the magic.
So we were just talking. I don't know if you could hear us or not. We are just talking about Darren Till, getting matched up, and then we moved on to the potential fight between him and Mike Perry. Even though it's not going to happen, they said it might happen further down the road in bare knuckle boxing. What do you think of that matchup if they were to fight in bare knuckle?
I would say if I'm Darren Till, why would I take that fight so early? Because we've seen what Mike Platinum Perry has done to everyone they've put in front of him, whether it's MVP, whether it's Luke Rockhold. It doesn't matter who you put in front of Platinum Perry. He takes them out. So if I'm Darren Till and I'm trying to, get myself either into a new space, a new combat sport, or to get back to where I'm from, whatever the case is, I wouldn't fight Mike Perry. If I'm Mike Perry, I wouldn't fight Darren Till. Honestly, to be honest, I wouldn't fight Darren Till either.
The other one who really gave him a good run was it's not Austin Lane. What's his name? Julian Lane. Is it Julian Lane?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He gave him a good run in the bare knuckle boxing there. The Let Me Bang, bro.
But I think right now he's on what, 5-0?
Yeah.
Bare knuckle?
Yep.
Yeah. And so honestly, right now he is, like he says, pretty much between him and Lorenzo the Juggernaut Hunt are the two kings of bare knuckle boxing. So as the king of bare knuckle boxing, why would I fight Darren Till?
Yeah.
Like, for me, that doesn't even make sense as a matchup, even if he's coming into bare knuckle. So I don't really like that matchup. I don't want to see Darren Till going into bare knuckle and fighting Mike Perry. He can go and fight someone else or in normal boxing, sure, but not against Platinum Mike. Not right now. He's too good. He's too great. Even if Darren Till wins, it'll be like, okay, So for me, I don't really like that matchup personally.
Yeah, fair enough.
Perry seems to be in the prime of his career at the moment, and he's just absolutely killing it. And bare knuckle boxing seems to have been made for Mike Perry's, like,
it's his
the dog in him, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's just that, like you say, bite down on your gum shield and walk forwards. On Twitter, somebody, MMA man, has just said to me, "Why do you have an English accent with a Scotland flag in your name? What, can I not have a Scotland flag in my name?" So the reason is, bro, I was born in England, lived there until I was like 19, and now I've been in Scotland for the last 14 years. So unfortunately, the accent hasn't evaded me, and I've just been back home at the weekend there. So when I'm around people back at home, it seems to come out even more than what it previously would have done too.
He's a bitzer through and through.
Well, I've lived in Scotland for 14 years. This is my fucking home. I own a house up here. My daughter's Scottish. My missus is Scottish. You know what I mean? Like, technically, I'm by my friends, I'm adopted Scottish now. So, like, deal with it, bro. Like, anybody can have any fucking flag they want in the fucking name. So get off me fucking nuts. You know what I mean? Fucking
shit.
Discriminating. Sick of it. Everyone's like, "You sound English, you got a Scottish flag." And fucking what, bro? Like, mate, I'll put a fucking Jamaican flag in my name and not Jamaican. Who gives a fuck? Like, fuck me. It's an emoji and a fucking social media name. Get over it. Anyway, thanks for following.
I'm actually with him. You should get that Scottish flag out of your name.
You should shut the fuck up. You've lived in about 12 different countries since you got fucking
since I got exiled.
Exiled out of your own home country.
Yeah. Speaking of getting exiled, what is repercussions?
Whoa!
Somebody
almost got deported. Somebody almost got deported.
John Fury headbutted Usyk's team member. Did you see this footage? It was wild.
Man. I saw that footage. It was insane.
So he basically called him a little idiot. It was on Saturday. Let me read the little
is that
excerpt
what he said
here.
to him?
This Saturday, Fury's son Tyson Fury faces Alexander Usyk in a highly anticipated boxing match that will crown the first undisputed heavyweight champion in almost 25 years. It's a massive event, and the fight week got off to a heated start on Monday when the elder Fury headbutted a member of Usyk's team during a media event. A day later, Fury has no regrets about what happened. It's the fight game, Fury told IFL TV. Emotions are running high. At the end of the day, I was sat there, minding my own business, and all I could hear was Usyk, Usyk, Usyk. And I'm going to stand up for my son. At the end of the day, he's my son. He's the best in the world, and I want people to respect him and give him the credit he deserves as the champion. He's the best in the world. When I was in amongst them, all I could hear was madness. So at the end of the day, some little idiot came forward. I don't know who he was. In my space, in me space. He got what he got, and that's the end of it. It happens every other week for me.
You should have let me read this.
Space.
In me space. Just let it roll. In me space. You know what I mean? Get out me face. In me space. No man alive gets in me space. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly how it goes.
Try
Fury
the some
is
little
a
idiot
certified-
came forward. Yeah, nut job.
He's a certified madman. Every time there's something, I mean, like when he took off his shirt in the face-off between Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury, like, what are you doing, bro? Like, John, sit down. It's not your fight. What are you doing standing?
As if that's the one you go for. He was screaming at KSI, "I'm gonna bum you."
Yeah, he's flipping the tables and shit.
He's like, "I'm gonna bum you. I'm gonna bum you." He's going fucking mental.
He is the entertainment factor in any Tyson Fury fight. If you see John Fury anywhere close to Tyson before a fight, it's always some insane entertainment. And like you just read, when you speak to him or when you hear his view on whatever he's done, it's like, oh, but I mean, it's fighting. What do you expect? These are people who are going to beat each other up. You expect us to have decorum? What are you talking about? So, okay, let's go, John Fury. Headbutt anyone you want.
So did you see the footage though?
I saw the footage of when they pulling him off the other guy.
All right, because old mate got crack one, and I don't think he realized what happened because he was just looking at him like, "What the fuck was that?"
He was like, "What? All right, fucking let's go then." You know what I mean? And started trying to dive forward. Like
that pause though was gold.
He done more damage to himself than he did to that lad. Like that lad took that fucking headbutt like an absolute champ and was just like, "Yeah, all right, okay, cool beans." Did you see what Fury said to him when he come out of the room, like Tyson, when he come walking out of the room and seen? He was like, "What have you done to your head, you silly cunt?" or something. Because he just had blood pouring down the front of his fucking head.
Yeah,
he's an absolute muppet.
Yeah. Who do you guys think's gonna win? I'm going Usyk.
I'm thinking Usyk. I was leaning Usyk, like especially after, I don't know. We say he never took Ngannou seriously, but especially after that fight, like Usyk, you know what I mean? And it
still weighs on you.
And 100%. And it'll be interesting to see what happens. I never really watch boxing until it's like big fights like this. I tune in for these ones, and that's probably about it. I don't even stick around. I don't watch the undercard. I don't watch any of the main card until it just gets to the main event. And that takes about 16 hours to get there as it is. You know what I mean? But
Give or take.
Yeah, give or take like 5 more hours.
As MMA fans, we are spoiled with the way the production flows. Like UFC sets such a great
100%.
standard.
Yeah. But not even the UFC, man. Like the regional shows kill it as well. Where you look at like Cage Warriors and their production is just rapid. It's boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom. It just goes and it goes and it goes. Like,
well, that's what I mean. Like the UFC set that standard, so now everybody else tries to replicate the most polished product, right? And that's what the fans want to see. We want to see action.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We don't want an hour wait between fights. That's insane.
No.
You can't build a fight for an hour live. Like, it's ludicrous.
I know.
And
Right, well, fuck these boxers
the
anyway.
most you have is about 15 minutes. Yeah, well, I'm not sure about that. So I went to bare knuckle boxing this past Saturday. My goodness. My first bare knuckle event.
It was your first bet, live, yep.
And honestly, it's fun, but I'm not sure how necessary it is because when you look at the faces of the guys after a 1 minute fight, it's insane. I couldn't believe the faces or the injuries. I mean, the one dude literally broke his hand. His wrist had like popped out and he kept on fighting and he won the fight. So he had one arm in a bare knuckle fight for at least half. It's insane. So when we're talking about Darren Till, Mike Perry, bare knuckle, heck, even John Fury headbutt. It's insane what happens out in the bare knuckle world, but really looking forward to it. So I had to just throw that in because it absolutely blew my mind.
So you go,
well,
John
John Fury, they're all like, they come from a gypsy family. You know what I mean? They're all like, they've been boxing all their life. If there's a bit of beef, the way they settle it is that we'll meet around the back of the fucking shed on this date at this time. You bring your boys, I'll bring mine. Everybody steps back. Nobody gets involved. It's 1v1 and they fucking have it out. And once they're done, they shake hands. They say, cool, we're sorted. And they fucking walk off. They settle it, as they say, like men. And then they keep on going. And that's just their culture and their life.
It's proper gypsy line too. That
yeah.
I learned about the gypsies in Snatch.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Want to buy a dog?
The bike, you want to buy a dog?
You want to buy a dog? You want to buy a caravan for me, ma?
For who? Well,
it's a fucking banger movie, like.
So, if you guys are watching this right now or on playback, smash the like button. Whether it's on X, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Twitch, like or comment or share or do all that shit. Help us out. Do it.
And if you're watching on X and you're currently on mine or the Fight Week show or even on the Kick 'em in the Heads one over here, make sure that you also try and support us on YouTube and get those watch hours up, people. If you don't mind, click the link, jump on over to YouTube. If you enjoy watching it on Twitter, why not go and watch us on YouTube instead? It's the same show, but you're going to help us out a little bit more with those watch hours and support the pages.
And if you feel ever so inclined, you can slag us in the comments. So then if you do 2 platforms, you can slag us off twice as much.
Yeah, man. Fucking let's go. MMA Panda's in the house. Blood 20, great point. I can't remember what that one was. We make all the great points. Sup, hookers? I like it. Kick him in the head. Let's go.
And give Kick 'em in the Head a follow for sure. And a like and a subscribe. Do all that good shit. Speaking of Kick 'em in the Head, did you catch the fights from the UFC event this past weekend? God damn. Did you see Ribovic's KO of McKinney? That was sensational. Absolutely sensational. Afterwards, he was well disappointed. It was one of the best knockouts of 2024 so far, and it wasn't even worth 50 grand according to the brass. What do you guys think? So, in my opinion, Terrence McKinney should not be fighting any opponents with lower limbs. Why? Because this is, I think, the 3rd or 4th loss he's had, either a knee or a leg. So I don't know if he doesn't see that his opponents have legs or knees, or he thinks he's
or have limbs.
I don't know, but he just doesn't see it coming. And here's another loss from him to a head kick. So I guess I'd say I'm not surprised that Terrence McKinney lost by a head kick, but amazing head kick. I was so excited when I saw it. I was like, oh, I'm surprised my neighbors didn't complain at that point in time. But yeah, Terrence McKinney needs to just find, like himself, someone with no legs. Oscar Pistorius might be available soon.
Yeah,
like
he might shoot you.
What a name drop! You know what I mean? That'll be his next call out.
so there were 3 3 bonuses given out: 2 performance of the night and 1 fight of the night. Carlos Olberg got the 50K for that 12-second knockout of Alonzo Menefield. Diego Ferreira versus Matisse Rebecki. 50K, and Trey Waters versus Billy Goff. That I just watched that one back again this morning. That's such a great fight. That
my man got robbed, bro. My man got robbed.
Great fight though. Great fight.
Yeah, it was 100%.
I don't know, man. Like Was Fajeda's performance better than that? Better than that head kick?
See, if I'm 100% honest, I need to go back and watch it. I mean, no, but overall, yeah, like he absolutely dominated that fight until it got to the third round. So you can't not give him performance of the night on that one.
So
he was out striking him. I mean, he was piecing him up left, right, and center. Like he was just controlling it.
What does the 37-second head kick knockout get you if not 50 grand?
Did it not get him 50 grand? Did he not get it?
He didn't get 50 grand for it.
Cool. Well, it wasn't a performance of the night because he went out and threw a head kick in 30 fucking seconds. How's that a performance? Right. Okay. It's like they should have head kick. Yeah, KO of the night, head kick of the night if they want to try and mix it up and do something.
Yeah,
he never put on a performance.
I can only assume it's because it was over McKinney, and he is very much, if you touch him, he goes out.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's part of it. Is always ever entertaining fights. Like he's either knocking somebody out or he's getting knocked out, and it's always fucking round one. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
yeah, I'm surprised that never got anything. To be fair,
who was it that flatlined when they were in Brazil?
When he got kneed?
Yeah, who was that?
Fuck me, he just fought as well last week. God damn.
Yeah. Oh goodness. And he has a brother. They both fight. The name will come to me.
Not Basharat.
No.
Something like that. Though.
It was. Yeah. It.
Bonfim.
Bonfim. Ishmael Bonfim.
Yes.
That's who it was.
That's Ishmael Bonfim. Yeah.
That was brothers. We had to fucking find it eventually. Like.
Yeah. Yeah, the brothers. Yeah, there's a few of them in the UFC though.
We got the MMA Panda says, "Bro, I'm a leave if you talk shit anymore of a T-Rex. I'm so sad. It's frustrating being a hardcore T fan." Yeah, I can imagine, bro. Like you say, it is exciting to watch his fights because he's always.
I'm a big fan. I don't know what he could do differently without ruining his style either. Like, it's entertaining as all shit. I don't think he's getting cut anytime soon. That's for sure. He was coming into this on a 2-fight win streak, both first round finishes.
Yeah. Man, like outside of his fights and that, I bet he is a nice dude. Sorry, boys, go on.
He engages with the fans on X like crazy.
Yeah.
If you hit him up, you're likely to get a reply. He's always down.
Yeah.
Top bloke.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Then the question is, my question is, who would we want to see him? Who do we want to see him face next in that case? Sure, he was on a 2-fight win streak. He got this very quick knockout. But who would then be next for T-Rex?
That's a great question. I don't think he needs to step down in competition. Maybe find him someone who's also coming off a loss, because now you're getting to the point where it's hard to build up that momentum. It's hard to get that momentum rolling again.
I would like to see that fight happen with Chris Duncan. He's coming off a loss himself too in Mexico. Them two were kind of shouting out a little while ago. I think that would be quite a wild fight.
Yeah. Duncan's got that power, man.
Man, he can put the lights out pretty quickly too.
It's unfortunate his last fight. He was doing so well, and he got caught and got done in there. Forget who was fighting. Phenom, incredible fighter.
Yeah.
But and both Duncan and McKinney are down for anything.
Mm-hmm.
MMA Panda says give him pencil.
He's never been finished. First round, baby.
Yeah. McKinney's out.
As soon as you touch him. But
I like McKinney, man. Like, he's a nice dude. He's a dad. You know what I mean? I've got no against him. He comes across very chilled as well in his in the interviews and things that he does. He's always just so laid back. He's like actually quietly spoken, and he's quite aware. Like, I think I seen one before this fight, and he said like the thing that they've been working on is just kind of slowing down. Like, the power's there, the knockout will come. He just doesn't need to be rushing into it anymore. He needs to be a little bit smarter about it. And I think that maybe was his plan going into this one. But boom, that head kick landed, and that was it. That was all she wrote.
Yeah. And another incredible performance was Joaquin Buckley as well.
Oh, bro.
Man, like that was a statement performance right there.
Yeah.
Well impressive at the co-main. Obvious unanimous decision. Had old mate on skates a few times.
Yeah.
And the size discrepancy. Did you? It was
Crazy,
insane.
wasn't
It looked like I was watching the UFC game, and like you pick two characters from different, like four separated by 4 weight classes. One's a monster, and yeah. But Buckley showed it didn't matter. He handled it well. It's great. Anyway, so he ended up after that. Buckley ended up calling out Conor McGregor in his post fight, which is wild. Then he went on to call out a more realistic opponent in Gilbert Burns.
Which he should have just done in the fucking first place.
He had the microphone hot and heavy. Just call out Gilbert Burns. Like, it's insane.
Like he started off so well because was it his grandma, his aunt, or somebody? You know what I mean? He was like, "Thanks for all your support, your love, everything. Yeah, it means everything to me." Next minute, he's calling Conor McGregor a hoe, his wife a hoe, his mum a hoe, his gran a hoe, like calling everybody in the fucking arena a hoe. I was like, "What is going on in this motherfucker?" Like Michael Bisping standing there, like, "Oh, I can't really take the mic away because he's on one, and he's just like."
He then got called out by DC. And they're having a little bit of a back and forth on X regarding his very terrible, which DC called very terrible call out of Conor McGregor. Yeah. So it's now interesting to see now the commentators throwing in.
Let me read that one out just now. So Daniel Cormier said, "Shut up, pussy. Maybe listen. You had a dumbass call out. You're getting talked about by 3 of the biggest voices in the game. Maybe listen. It was the worst call out in history. Don't let winning at a few fights at 170 pounds get you too excited, bruh. And don't mention Audric," because Joaquin said, "Let this be known at DC, at Bisping, at Chael Sonnen. Your mama's raised some hoes. You're really trying to twist up my words, knowing damn well what I said in that cage, but it's okay. We can all have some fun, mate."
So I don't know about the worst call out in history, but it's pretty bad.
No, it was the worst call out in history. Like there was absolutely no need in it. There's where.
But every man and his dog's called out Conor McGregor, and there's only been 2 cases where it's made any sense. The first one was Tony Ferguson when he was in his prime, and the second one was who we've got coming up, Michael Chandler.
McNuggets.
Yeah, McNuggets. Yeah.
Joaquin Buckley should not have been calling out for McGregor. Like we said a minute ago, it should have been Gilbert Burns from the absolute get-go, or somebody else of that level. You know what I mean? Even if he wants to go and shout out JDM, like would have been a better name to be calling out.
So one name
it's a realistic name.
One name he could have called out because they've had interactions before and he would turn down the fight is Ian Gary. Why? Because Ian Gary said, "I will not fight anyone lower than me in the rankings," of which Buckley is.
Damn good point.
In all fairness, that's exactly what Ian Gary shouldn't be fighting anyone lower. He's on a 14-fight win streak. He's undefeated. He should only be going up until he gets knocked down.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go back.
That's what makes it a good call for Buckley. At least get that going. If you've got this undefeated guy who
start lighting that fire. I think Gilbert Burns is the best call out. I think that works perfectly. And Gilbert Burns is already accepted. He responded to it already. He said, "If they send me, I'll say yes now." So I mean, he's already in. He said, Buckley said it's a beautiful matchup, and Gilbert was quick to reply saying, "Let's do it. The way I see it, I'm not in the situation to call anyone out or to pick and choose. Okay, I'm number 6 right now. If they send me a contract for Buckley, I'll say yes now." So he's down. That's perfect. I mean, make the fight. It should have just been his first call out, though. Big up, George.
What's happening, bro? Naz OG in the fucking
we got Naz here. Big up, Naz. Big up.
What up, Naz?
Guys, smash the likes, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, comment, do all that jazz. Much appreciated.
Like he makes a damn good point there with that Ian Gary call. Obviously, there's talks about him and MVP at the moment as well, isn't there? But I believe we're going to get into that shortly. But
let's do it.
Fuck it, let's do it. Yeah. So obviously, we've got MVP and Ian Gary in talks. I think they were discussing UFC 303.
Yeah, Ian Gary was calling for a bout with Colby Covington. However, according to Gary, Covington has not accepted the fight. According to Ian Gary, he's agreed to fight Colby, MVP, Sean Brady, and Buckley as well. After 14 victories, 7 in the UFC, is MVP the fight to make for Ian Gary? I haven't heard from MVP yet.
So, I'm sure I've seen that MVP said no 303 is too soon because it's 7 weeks away or something, and he needs a bit more time than that. And we've had 9 fights. Like I posted on Twitter yesterday about 304 in Manchester. I know Ian Gary said that he's not going to be fighting in the UK again anytime soon, or doesn't plan to. But man, like that would be an epic fight to get added to that card.
I thought for sure it would be 304. I mean, what's his protest for fighting in the UK?
I don't know. I think he's just trying to build his name elsewhere. You know what I mean? But 304 would be an absolute fucking banging place to be putting that fight on.
Yeah, to put both those lads in the UK on a UK card, it's like, where else would you want to put them? And the fight makes sense for both guys.
Mm-hmm.
It does. It does.
How do you think it goes stylistically? Because obviously both of them very tall, very rangy. You've got a little bit of a counter striker in both of them. Or do you reckon Gary will go down the grappling route because he's been training with Oliveira? Do you reckon MVP's weird ass style and his power will be able to catch him? Would he be able to take one of those funky elbows he cracked Holland with? There's just so many questions there in that fight.
So I got a pretty hot take on this one.
Go.
I think Ian Gary, and I actually am not a fan of Ian Gary. I think he absolutely wrecks MVP. I think he just walks through. He does whatever the fuck he wants to him. That's what I reckon.
Cooking, bro. He's cooking. Yeah.
I like Ian Gary. I like MVP. Stylistically, it's going to be interesting because of how they both fight. Ian Gary tends to not really counter strike. He does come at you. But if I look at MVP, stylistically, I don't see it being too entertaining unless they specifically make it entertaining. And who wins it? Probably Gary on points.
Yeah, I would think it would be either submission or it would be points.
Yeah, I think he edges it personally.
Yeah,
I'm going to throw it out there. I like Ian Gary. I'm not all on this cock train and all the rest of it. And it's probably a little biased too because I met him in London last year and like he was just walking through. I was like ordering 2 pints and then I looked to my left and all I saw was Ian Gary walking through like a crowd of people. I was just like, I pointed at him and he pointed at me and I was like, I just left the bar. Like the woman was pouring my pints and I just fucking walked off. And I just went walking up to him and I was like, motherfucker. I was like, what are you doing just walking through here nonchalantly with this fucking baby strapped to your chest in a room full of MMA fans and you're just fucking walking on through. Like, not a crowd, not a care in the world. You know what I mean? But Stud spoke to him for 5 minutes. He was like very nice, very polite. You know what I mean? He was a really decent dude. Like I've got nothing against him at all, and I enjoy his fights. I think he's decent. So yeah,
that's the only thing I do like about him is watching him fight.
I suppose. I think a lot of people might be on the same page as you there on that one. Like, but as Naz said as well, there, like I mean, it really will help sell this pay-per-view, especially with it being at such a stupid time for the UK fans. Like the screwing we've spoken about it before, but screwing the UK fans, screwing the UK fighters. I know if Red Wolf is watching this one, he's been campaigning like a motherfucker on X to try and get this changed. I think almost every day he's tagging Dana White and going, "What are you doing, bro? Go and get this sorted."
It ain't gonna change either. I mean, you raised a great point last time
unless
about
they're gonna pay for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's possible.
Cover the financial aspect. But unless someone can cover the financial aspect of moving it to a different time and then essentially moving away from your core audience or your core time, it's not going to change. I don't think anyone, but maybe some.
I don't think anyone's going to put up that kind of cash. Yeah, exactly, exactly right.
On the basis of like selling that card as well, though, like I really hoped Matt Frivola was going to get the Paddy Pimblett fight. Just whilst we're here and we're kicking around the bucket of it, like I really wish Frivola got that fight. That would have been fucking fireworks, and so many more people would have been like engaged with that, just going, holy shit, Matt Frivola versus Paddy Pimblett. This is going to be an absolute banger. Like, because loads of people want to see Frivola get his hands on Paddy.
Yeah,
but they are talking about Renato Moicano because obviously, like Molly's just been announced on it.
For Frivola was what really broke any chance of that happening.
Well, he's trying to get in the Paris card now. I know that, but yeah, Molly's just been announced. Paddy's just had twins, so he's going to want to stay near home. You know what I mean? Liverpool is 30-40 minutes to an hour away from Manchester, so he'll be close to home if he can get that fight, and then he doesn't have to go and work away too far. You know what I mean? But yeah, Money Moicano as well against Paddy is a decent fight. I think when it comes to the striking, they're quite similar. When it goes down to the ground, it's going to be an absolute grappling fest because the two of them, Moicano's black belt as well, isn't he? I mean,
yeah, that would be where I would want to see that fight, just from a fan's perspective. I want to see their grappling.
Seeing them going at each other on the ground. Because if you look at how Manny Moicano fights, he's okay striking, he's decent striking, but I mean, he's a Brazilian. We know what the Brazilians do. You take them to the ground. If you engage them standing, they will grapple you and probably submit you. So that would be a good fight for Pimblet, because Pimblet's good with his takedown defense. He's good with takedowns, wrestling, and
he's got great BJJ as well.
And he's also got great BJJ.
That's how he won his Cage Warriors titles.
Yeah, I think that's a good matchup. That is a good matchup stylistically, in terms of what's at stake. That's a nice matchup.
Yeah.
All right, let's move it on to our last segment of the day. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Ronda Rousey is back.
Back in the headlines.
Yeah. Back in the headlines in the best way possible. So it's going to be a little bit of a mouthful, but you're just going to have to hear me out because it's fucking hilarious. I think it is anyway. Okay. Ronda Rousey takes aim at former boyfriend Brandon Schaub. My ex thrived on playing fucked up mind games. In an excerpt that was posted on Reddit, Rousey spoke about the time Schaub collided with her new partner, Travis Brown, in the octagon. Travis had been training with us for a while when it was announced that his first fight as an official member of our team would be against my ex-boyfriend, Rousey wrote. My ex thrived on playing fucked up mind games with me when I had a fight coming up and insisted we hide that we were dating so he wouldn't be labeled Ronda Rousey's boyfriend. As Travis headed into the matchup, I pretended it wasn't personal, she continued. I tried not to be overly involved or emotional. This wasn't my fight. I was hoping he would win, but I was in training camp, so I didn't really think too much more about it. That is until it was live on TV, and I lost my goddamn mind, screaming at the top of my lungs, "Get him, Travis!" while punching the arm of the person on the couch next to me. When Travis knocked him out at the end of the first round, I didn't think it could get any more gratifying, Rousey said. My ex covered up in the ground while Travis pounded away on him. The referee waved the match over. Then Travis, towering over the crumpled, semi-conscious body of my ex, leaned down and whispered something in his ear. His words were indiscernible to the camera, but I swore I could hear Travis' voice saying, "Ronda says, fuck you."
Yeah.
Shit. I see, like I said to you earlier, I seen something on X that was saying Brendan Schwab's reply, and he was saying enjoy it, like, because I can't remember what the back and forth was, but apparently Brendan Schwab said enjoy sloppy seconds. And I don't know if this bit was real or not. I don't know if somebody just made this. I don't know if any of it was real. And then Dana White responds saying sloppy seconds or sloppy thirds back to it as well. I was just like, did he really though?
There was plenty of rumors about Ronda Rousey and Dana White, so yeah. I think it's too far a stretch there. It's
playing on that.
Yeah, I just thought that was hilarious. Like he leaned down and he's like, Ronda said, "Fuck you."
After absolutely demoralizing the man in the cage.
Yeah. Bloody good
madness.
value.
I know, yeah. So what's happening this weekend then, boys? What are we doing?
Well, as always, I will be unable to do anything live related. Unfortunately.
It's on quite early this weekend, isn't it? 9 o'clock start for us.
On the X's. So we obviously also had Brian Ortega and Tracy Cortez, who dated and then broke up in the MMA space. We also had, I'm trying to remember what's his name, Tim Elliott.
Yeah. Oh, that was a fucking messy one, that wasn't it?
So now the question I have is, does it work dating in the MMA space? Because from what we see, it ends up somehow being very messy, because as much as you're not in the public eye,
Brian Ortega,
anything that goes wrong is in the public eye. You're going to go watch each other fight or watch your ex fighting and getting beaten up. Is that a healthy environment to have a relationship in?
Well, I'll tell you who it's working for. Let me go with the other.
What about Alex Pereira and Poliana Viana? Have they not
recently just
split
together?
Up too?
Like they just got together. Like they just like
I know, yeah. But did they? What, they got
Yeah,
back
it was
together?
only a couple of months.
I think Alex is just working his way through the roster in the male
He's
and
like,
female division.
I've taken the middleweight title,
Yeah.
I've taken the light heavyweight title. I'm going to take that ass. I'm going to take that ass, and I'm going to take that ass with me too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fuck.
I know who it is working for though. Is Dan Hardy and his missus. What's her name? Veronica.
Veronica Hardy.
Is it Hardy though? Has she changed her name?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is Hardy. Okay, that's working for them.
Yeah.
She just got a W.
Oh man,
as well.
they've got a wicked relationship going on them too, like the back and forth. And I've seen some things on Instagram where they're just like tagging each other in memes and sharing it on stories and shit. And
she just won her fight on Saturday as well. She was the opening for the card.
When you've got Dan Hardy as your husband and he'll be coaching you, man, I mean, you're gonna fucking pick a few things up and you're gonna go far. I've enjoyed every single one of Veronica Hardy's fights. Like I've always been backing it too.
Yep. And Dan's got such a great mind for analyzing the sport. Like you know you're getting your dues out of him for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
he followed the same. Well, Izzy, I suppose, followed the same path as him. Obviously, going to China and training out there. I don't know if you read his book, Part Reptile. I mean, he only had a small segment in there. And when I spoke to him in London as well in July last year, he was saying that he was wanting to bring out a second book and just delve more into his trip and just talk about like training in China a little bit more and being over there than what you got in Part Reptile. So I'd absolutely fucking buy that book straight away.
Speaking of, I'm surprised there's not more of a presence of Chinese fighters in the UFC.
Well, I think they're trying, aren't they?
Well, they got the
with
PI
road,
there.
And
they got the road to the UFC, but that's all Southeast Asia and all that space, which is great. I mean,
although with that said, we did have a co-main with two Chinese female fighters when Yan Xiaonan fought against Zhang Weili.
Yeah.
We had that new fighter who came in who had ridiculous odds, but he hadn't won anything outside of China. This was maybe 4 UFCs ago. I can't remember his name. So they seem to be quite. The Leech hasn't fought in a while. We're waiting for the Leech to come back. See what happens there. You have Sadong. So we actually do have, I think, quite a few decent Chinese fighters, but only the females at the top, obviously those two. But I think, we'd probably like to see more Chinese fighters coming through, because if we've got an Izzy who's fought on that circuit as long as he did, doing what he did, it'd be nice to see them coming through as well.
So I actually think that the issue is it's so much harder to qualify who's good and who isn't because of how much padding happens in China.
Bro, the list of UFC fighters that represent China is absolutely fucking much bigger than I thought it was going to be, to be honest with you. There's 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 fighters.
Is this active?
Yeah, I believe. Let me see. Let me just make sure. Li Jingliang, Hu Yazong, Song Yidong, Song Kenan, Sai Wang, Han Yingyang, Wu Yanyan, Yan Zhaonan, Zhang Weili. Do better at fucking pronouncing these names than they most viewers. Erika Wang. Mate, 26. These must be active. This is on the UFC website.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna look into that because that's surprising. Now I thought it would be even less than half of that for active. Anyway, guys, let's wrap this party up. Good chat. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for liking, sharing, subscribing, doing all that good shit, people. Any last words, Yao?
Definitely tune in. We're doing big things. We have a lot of content coming out from different MMA events. We were at Brave 82. We were all at Brave 82 this past weekend, which was phenomenal. In Kosi, the future in the Bella, retaining the bantamweight champion in Brave CF out in Mauritius. We have bare knuckle boxing. There's a lot of knockouts coming, some vicious knockouts coming, lots of content. So like, follow, subscribe at Head Kick Pod. This coming weekend, we have Versus 9 amateur MMA event happening out in Pretoria. I think there's another one happening this weekend. No, then next weekend, we've got more amazing MMA, more interviews coming. Diego Bandu, we've got lots coming. So definitely like, comment, subscribe, everyone who's listening.
And that's Head Kick Pod on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram. What else am I missing? And X.
Spotify.
And
NX.
Spotify. Far out. That's a few. Perfect.
Yeah.
Fucking head kick pods all over the place.
Ramble Dad, what you got going on?
So I've got an interview with Zach Poega that I held a few weeks ago that I'm actually going to be dropping on Friday because I've done a bunch of them and obviously some of them had fights coming up, so I kind of prioritize them as they were going along. But that'll be dropping on Friday. We'll also have the prediction show on Friday with the Fight Week show, so don't be missing that one for this weekend.
Wait, did Zach talk about the Baltic Gladiator?
He did not know. Did we? I can't remember.
I'll have to tune in and watch it.
You'll need to tune in and watch it. It was a quick chat, 35 minutes, 40 minutes, not like my usual hour to 2 hour rambling dad content in the interviews. You know what I mean? But no, it was a quick chat. He's a nice guy, like very, very down to earth. Like I enjoy talking to him. So yeah, I'll be dropping that one. Obviously, I just, as you mentioned there, Brave 82. I've just dropped an interview with Jose Torres, Shorty Torres, last week. Obviously, just before his fight, unfortunately, it didn't go his way. But he did put a damn good show on for himself. Yeah, I mean, but that's the end of that trilogy, and then we'll see what's happening for him next. And yeah, I need to get back in the bandwagon of trying to set up some more interviews and get some more things lined up. So there'll be plenty of them in the pipeline. I've got some other content that I'm working on, and I might even hold a watch along for this weekend's card, even though this man can't join me, which is a shame.
I might be able to contribute in other ways. We'll see.
Well, we'll see. But yeah, that's it. That's everything that's going on.
And cheers all you guns.
Thank you very much.